What's up, YouTube? I hope y'all having a good Wednesday. This week going by pretty fast, I think. I just want to thank my newest subscribers who subscribed to me. Thank you for taking the time out to look at my videos. I hope you enjoy the newest videos I'll be posting. It just all depends on what's going on, what I'm doing. But I do appreciate all of y'all subscribe to me. I hope you continue to enjoy the channel and share my videos. Let the videos get out. If I have people out there that can relate to what I'm saying, which I know I do, share the videos with the other people that you may know that can relate to both of us as of what we're saying. You know what I mean? Just let the videos get out. If you know you got people out there that can relate to what I'm saying. So, but I do appreciate y'all and thank y'all for commenting and liking and subscribing. I just appreciate it all. Today's content, I wanted to talk about Tammi Terrell. I did research on her and I looked at a documentary. I tried to see if there was more than one, but it really wasn't too many documentaries of her. It was really just that one main one. And then, a lot of hit songs that she had up until she passed. Um, to me, this is very serious content because when I looked at the documentary, uh, at the ending of the documentary, but not at the very end, but as it was going to the end, I got very emotional and I cried a little bit as if I knew this woman. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do some content on her. I was interested in knowing who she was. What did she do in the music business for Motown? Because she, ended up being signed to Motown. So I was just curious of what went on with her and why, isn't she here today? First off, her real name is Tammy Montgomery, but Barry Gordy wanted to change it to Tammi Terrell because he felt like her last name was too long for when they printed her whole name and the credits and everything. Once they finished the song and they put all the information on the CD before they ship them out. He just felt like her last name was just too long. So he went ahead and changed it to Tammi Terrell, and they went with that. So first off, I wanted to say that that's how she got Tammi Terrell, but her original name is Tammy Montgomery. Um, Tammi Terrell is a singer who worked her way up to be signed to Motown. She started off with Steve Gibson, which he was with the Red Caps. That was kind of like an R&B group um, back in the day since the early 1930s. So she ended up performing. She ended up performing. I wrote down a lot of information. So you know how I do. I write it down and then I break it up and then explain my point of views and everything. Um, but she does openings for their group before they come on stage and perform. So she started off with them. And she was only 17. That was in 1962. Now, remind you, I'm not even born in these times. This wasn't even my generation. But, if I'm interested in people before my time, I'm going to do research on them. I'm going to look at a documentary, whatever is provided to the public for me to know about the person, even if they're not in my time. So she was 17, and that was in 1962. But a terrible thing happened to her at age 11 that, that bothered me. Of course, it would bother any woman. At age 11, she got raped by three young boys on her way coming home from a community club. It's like like a neighborhood thing. I guess they had like a little special event and everybody from the neighborhood came out. But once it was time to go home, she did get stopped by three young boys that were older than her and they raped her. So that's definitely a tough cookie to chew on. I'm sorry. But I'm also going to put allegedly, but looking at it in the documentary and, just trying to understand what's going on, yes. At age 11, allegedly she was raped by three young boys. I did want to put that in there. But as a child, I want to say this because when I say this, I'm going to make a point later down on what I'm saying. So once I get ready to say this, don't forget I said this. Now, as a child, she suffered headaches already, but the family didn't really take it too serious to get it examined. They just realized that she would have headaches here and there, and then they would go away. Okay, remember that I said that. Um, Here's the part where I was trying to figure out, okay, well, how did she get signed to Motown? And in 1965, she was in Detroit at a nightclub performing. That's how she met Berry Gordy. Berry Gordy gave her, after he seen her perform that night, Berry Gordy gave her a record deal the very next day. So pretty much that's how talented she was. And she was talented. She could sing, and she's very beautiful. Um, and that was April 29th, 1965. That was actually on her 20th birthday when she got signed to Motown. So that's, it don't get no better than that. You know what I mean? That's one of the best gifts, birthday gifts you could ever get. You know, you get signed to a big, ooh, my nose earring. You know, you get signed to a big record deal, and it's your birthday. Like, come on, you can't beat that. So that's how she gets her foot um, into Motown. But hold on, I did skip a part because it's so much information. Before she gets signed to Motown with Berry Gordy, she goes on tour with James Brown. Um, I believe the tour was the James Brown Review. So before she gets signed to Motown, I forgot about this part. She meets James Brown. She goes on tour for him for 7 months. Remind you, she's still in high school. So, you know, she's doing her high school work, of course, on tour while she's on tour with James Brown. So she goes on tour with him. She performs a song, I believe, I Cried. That is a song with James Brown. And then she, you know, sings a little bit. You guys can pull that up. And it's a beautiful song. She has a beautiful voice. Um, but allegedly, it was physical abuse on James Brown's behalf. One night he had performed and he realized that she was not there, um, you know, watching him perform. After he performed, allegedly they said he went off. And when he got to her, he did tap her in the head a couple of times, allegedly. Now, when I found out that part, um, through the information that I've gotten, I was shocked because none of this was never said, but people in her circle that she spoke to knew about this, like, you know, years, and they're, you know, talking about it through the documentary. So they knew, but, you know, the public back then didn't know. Because I honestly believe if it would have came out to the public, allegedly James Brown would have been locked up, and that would have probably put a dent in his career. But yeah, it was allegedly physical abuse on James Brown's behalf while she was on tour with him. It was like, it seems like it was a control thing. Now, remind you, back in those times, it was much different. Of course, James Brown was much older than her. She was a lot younger. But I guess in those times when that was happening, things didn't get out as much to where people would get arrested. I don't know, because things like that happened back then. Older men was messing with women that was younger than them, but you know, they weren't locked up or anything, and then it would come out years later. You know what I mean? I guess it just all depends on the situation, the time frame, and the people, I guess. But I noticed that. But she was a lot younger than him, and I guess it got to the point where she just had enough. She had spoke to her mom, and then it was like her mom allegedly came in, you know, got all her stuff, and then that was it. She was done with James Brown after that. But supposedly, you know, allegedly they had something going on. It was some type of relationship there, a casual relationship there back in those times. I was shocked, but yeah, allegedly. But once he was putting the hands on her, that was it. And then that's when, she performed at the nightclub and everything and got signed with Motown. When she got signed with Motown, she met David Ruffin. David Ruffin, part of the Temptations. David Ruffin has a beautiful voice, very talented. If you ever seen the Temptations movie, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, um, Leon played David Ruffin in the Temptations movie, if I'm not mistaken, and that movie was good. But ooh, this light. But she started dating him, and then she ended up being in love with him. But then he was physically abusing her, and it got to the point where allegedly he hit her in the head, and it got out of control, and she was just like so in love with him. And then after that, she called it quits with him. Eventually, it just didn't work. And I felt bad for her because it was just like, dang, she was really a good person. She wasn't even trying to, deal with all of that. So, yeah, I'm going to pause here. This is part one. So, it's a lot of information. So, I'm giving you part one. So, you guys, I'll be back with part two. I hope you guys enjoyed part one. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.